Good afternoon, student. Today we are going to discuss SDS page electrophoresis. But before I start this thing, there is some list of dyes which we are using for detecting protein or DNA or RNA. So, and you can see the detection limit also given. That means if it is amido black, it is used for detecting protein. But if the protein is present 400 nanogram in the gel, then only it is effective. Like that Ethereum bromide, it is generally we use to detect DNA and RNA. But the detection capacity is that if it is 10 nanogram of DNA is present, then also it is efficient to detect um, the molecule. Now, after that, we are going to move to that continuous and discontinuous buffer system. Now, what is the continuous system? Has a single separating gel and uses the same buffer in the tank and the gel. That means the running buffer, the buffer you are using for the electrophoresis and the buffer with that you are preparing your gel are same. Now, in a discontinuous system, in non-restrictive large pore gel, which we call stacking gel, is layered on top of a separating gel. The resolution obtained in a discontinuous system is much greater than that obtained in a continuous one. However, continuous system is a little easier to set up. Now, what we are mentioning in the second point is that we have to prepare a stacking gel which has a non-restrictive large pore size. That means the gels are having less percentage. So, the pore size are big, and there is a two types of buffer we'll be using. One type of buffer will be using for running, another type of buffer will be using for casting the gel. Here also, when we are casting the gel, the stacking gel, the pH of the stacking gel buffer and the separating gel, which is the main gel, that pH we are also maintain differently. Now you see the diagram. This is the resolving gel. This is the continuous system. The left side is upper chamber, lower chamber, all connected to the electrodes, and the well are also there, which we can run the sample directly. Here what is happening, we have a resolving gel at the bottom part, but the top part we have casted another gel which I just mentioned. The porosity is very big. Okay. And one more thing I mentioned, the pH of these two gel, that means the stacking gel and the resolving gels are different. The pH for this resolving gel is 8.8. If it is 8.8, then the stacking gel pH is 6.8. Always 2 unit difference will be there. And another buffer is there we are using, that is for the running, which is present in the top chamber and the bottom chamber. Now we'll start with SDS page. Always the question comes like the principle, procedure, instrumentation, detection, as well as the application. So we need to tell something about this, why SDS is required. Biopolymers such as protein and nucleic acid are folded into compact structure. We all know they have their three-dimensional structure. Because of that is the active state. There are different force which stabilizes this tertiary structure, 3D structure. They held together by a variety of non-covalent ionic interaction. If it is an ionic interaction, that means hydrogen bond also can come, salt beach also we can consider. But there are other interactions also present. That is hydrophobic interaction is also present. So, in the principle, sodium dodecyl sulfate is a detergent which denature protein by binding to the hydrophobic regions. All non-covalent bond will disrupt it and the protein acquires a negative net charge. SDS is being a detergent actually interact with all the non-covalent bond, remember. Okay, so that means we are not disturbing the protein primary structure. It is disturbing what, the tertiary structure, mostly with the interaction of the hydrophobic interaction with the and disturbing the hydrophobic bond. And because it's a negatively charged molecule, it imparts the entire protein a net negative charge. A concurrent treatment with a disulfide reducing agent like beta-markerethionol or dithiothetol, which further denature the protein by reducing disulfide linkage. So these two reagents we are using to remove the disulfide bond. So Even if there is a subunit presence are there, we are separating that also, thus overcoming some forms of tertiary protein folding and breaking the quaternary protein structure also. So the protein sample are having ununiform structure and charge. The separation will now depends on entirely the molecular weight of the macromolecule. Small proteins migrate faster through the gel under the influence of applied electric field. The number of SDS molecule that binds in proportional to the size of the protein, thereby the electric field protein molecules move towards being it's negatively charged, so it will definitely move towards the positive charge electrode, that means anode, and separated by only according to the molecular weight. Try to understand, as we have changed the all the proteins in a negatively charged molecule, so there is nothing we can separation is not based on this charge, only the molecular weight of the protein. Based on that they will be separated. Small molecule will run fast, big molecule will run slow. The detergent sodium dodecyl sulfate consists of hydrophobic dodecyl, meaning 12 carbon atom, 12 carbon chain, a polar sulfated head. Okay, so hydrophobic chain, the hydrophobic chain meaning this 12 carbon chains, hydrophobic chain can intercalate into hydrophobic part of the protein by detergent action, thereby disrupting its compact folded structure. So how SDS actually causing the denaturation? This is the way. Now you can designate it as also before the SDS treatment, the protein was folded, negative positive charge are all distributed. You know the hydrophobic areas, the charge are functional groups are present. Now after we treat with the SDS, now everywhere it is negatively charged. So protein shape also get changed. So it's become, SDS is highly negatively charged molecule. It binds to protein in proportion to their molecular weight. SDS molecule exerts a strong internal repulsive force. So all are negatively charged. So negative, they repel each other. So they cannot form in a defined structure. So what happened? Tend to stretch out the random coil protein into a rod-like shape. Remember this thing. Because of this repulsion only, it takes a rod-like shape. All proteins are made to look virtually the same rod diameter, but with length that are proportional to the molecular weight of the protein. Understood? So everybody will be now look like this molecule, but it depends on how big, how small they are based on their molecular weight, because all are negatively charged. Now, as I mentioned, in a discontinuous gel, we have the top part is the stacking gel, bottom part is the separating gel or running gel, you can mention. So there, the first that the stacking part question comes, what is the function of the stacking gel, why we need, how it helps in order to separation. Now you can write one word, it's actually organize the sample, it make the band sharp and thick. But how, which principle is working behind it, we will discuss later. Sample separation actually takes place in the running gel, that means at the bottom part, where is the separation gel. The pH of the separation gel, as I already mentioned, high, that means 8.8. Stacking gel pH is 6.8. Remember. Now here we will start with preparation of the sample and composition of stacking gel as well as the running gel. So let us start with SDS polyurethane gel electrophoresis preparation. How we are preparing the sample. Sample means our protein, what you are going to load. So you take any measurements of sample depending on which system you are working, maybe bacterial proteins, maybe animal cells, whatever. You need to use a buffer and then need to boil it. You also know that boiling, also heating more than 80-degree temperature, definitely denature the protein. So first what I am doing, the disruption buffer. Now the composition of disruption buffer, it contains SDS. So that means we are allowing the protein sample which I am loading should be denatured. Then it contains beta mercaptoethanol to reduce the disulfide linkage. So if there is any subunit interaction is also there, we are separating that also. you can treat with dithiotretol instead of beta-marketol, and a dye we are giving, that is bromophenol blue. So this is the composition of disruption buffer or gel loading buffer. Now, what is the composition of our running buffer, the electrophoresis buffer? You need not to know how many gram you are weighing, it's not required, but what is the composition that you need to remember. So the running buffer composition, only this much we will discuss. It has tris base, it has glycine, tris glycinate buffer. This buffer is named as tris glycinate, but it also contains SDS. Remember, the running buffer, its pH is 8, approximately 8 pH. Tris glycinate buffer with, what is that? SDS is also present. So entire things we are maintaining in a denaturing condition. Now, polyacrylamide gel preparation. As I already mentioned, there are two types of gel. One gel is stacking gel, one gel is running gel. So first we cast the running gel, that means the bottom, the separating gel, okay, that we will cast, and then once it solidify, then we cast the stacking gel. Okay, now polyacrylamide, we need to prepare a stock. As I showed you that thing, that what is the principle of polyacrylamide gel, that polymerization, the cross-linked polyacrylamide gels are formed from the polymerization of acrylamide monomer in the presence of smaller amount of N prime methylene bisacrylamide, and in the presence of what? 10% APS as well as timid catalyzes this entire thing. Now, first, as I mentioned, we are going to cast the separation gel, that means the running gel, the bottom part of the gel. What is the percentage of the gel? First question. It depends on what macromolecule you are going to separate. We are doing for protein, so protein size also matter. If it is a small protein, we will design something which is a very big protein. We will consider the percentage of the gel. Here 12% polyacrylamide, 10 to 15% generally we prepare the concentration of polyacrylamide gel for the separation or the running gel. Need not to remember how much ml we have added, only the composition, what are the things we are preparing. As I mentioned, separating gel pH is 8.8. What are the things present here? Need to remember tris HCl. This is the tris HCl buffer which already has 10% SDS, and you know acrylamide, bisacrylamide and APS as well as timid. So the gel contain tris HCl, remember pH 8.8, and we are polymerizing acrylamide, bisacrylamide, timid, APS, water, all these things are given, and the percentage, what percentage I am casting here? 12%. It varies 10 to 15%. Now, once I cast the gel in between two glass plate, I had shown you in my last lecture how the gel looks like. So in between two glass plate, we have cast it and keeping the top part a little bit part empty. So that part we generally keep some alcohol so that it should not dry. Okay, so the bottom part gets solidified. After that we decant the alcohol and then we cast the stacking gel. Now see the stacking gel composition. Definitely polyacrylamide gel, that means acrylamide, bisacrylamide, APS and timid should be there. Water is there. It has also tris HCl, but the pH, since I was mentioning 6.8, 2 unit less. I repeat, tris HCl, pH 6.8, you need to remember. And what is the percentage of stacking gel? It is a 4% polyacrylamide gel. Remember, in certain books you may find 3.5 also. It is generally 4%. So the top part is a 4% acrylamide gel. Bottom part is depends on what type of molecule you are separating. That's why it ranges 10 to 15%. And pH, the top part is 6.8, bottom is 8.8. Now, here is the principle. Now, if I explain, try to explain what is the principle behind this stacking gel. So what is present in the running buffer? You remember, running buffer contain tris glycinate. So what are the anions present? If we explain it, glycine present in the upper buffer reservoir, correct? And it can exist in a zwitterionic form at 8 pH. Now when the power I will turn on, because after this arrangement I will load my sample And I told you how to prepare the sample also, and then electrophoresis will start. When the power is switched on, what will happen? What are the anions are present? You just remember. Chloride is there because this gel we prepare with tris HCl. Okay, the chloride is there. Our sample protein is also negatively charged because it is SDS and protein. Then the buffer, the running buffer is having glycinate anions. Now, once it is entering, these three anions are entering the stacking gel, the glycinate ions encounter a condition low pH. That means glycinate was 8 pH, now it is 6.8 pH. So because of that, it is shifting to equilibrium towards deuterion. So because of deuterionic form of glycinate, it cannot move. You know that deuterionic form cannot carry any charge. So it becomes immobilized. Immobility of glycine, because of this glycine, it will be the trailing anion. What will be the leading anion? Chloride. So chloride will run fast because it is electronegative, more negativity is there, so it will run fast. Who will be in between? Our protein sample will be in between, and who will be the trailing anion? So there is trailing anion is glycinate anion. So you are seeing there are three anions and one positive. Tris is the positively charged, and all three are negatively charged anion and running with a different velocity. It's an impossible situation. Otherwise, what will happen? The electricity will drop here. Sorting will start and it will disturb. In order to run this three anion in a steady velocity, and spontaneous electric potential will generate inside this gel. Remember, a spontaneous electric gradient will generate. What gradient? At the leading anion. Who is leading anion? Chloride. Electricity will be, gradient will be less. And at the trailing anion, who is the trailing? Glycinate. Field strength will be more. To allow all of three run in a proper speed. This phenomena is also named as isotachophoresis. Iso meaning same, tacho meaning the speed, phoresis meaning separation. The stacking gel has a very large pore size which allows the protein to move freely and concentrate or stack under the effect of electric field. Now what will happen? Chloride will run faster, protein will move in between, and glycinate cannot only move. Now, the glycinate ion can move at the same speed as chlorine only if they are in a region of high field strength. So, a spontaneous field gradient will generate inside the stacking gel. Remember the word, a spontaneous electric field gradient. Gradient meaning at one point it is high, another point it is low. Which point it will be high? At the chloride it will be less. Which point it will be high? At the point of glycinate it will be high. Field strength is inversely proportional to the conductivity, which is proportional to the concentration. The result is that the three species of this anion adjust their concentration so that they can migrate. Because of that, in between, the protein will adjust and make a sharp band in between the glycinate and chloride anions. So I hope I can make you understand, because this is the importance of the stacking gel, where the separation is not based on the protein's molecular weight. The phenomena behind is isotachophoresis. Everyone should move in the same speed. But what was happening? Because of three electronegative anions, because of three anions and their three different electronegativity, they are running in three different speed. Because of that, circuits become incomplete. But to run them in a same speed, what happened? And spontaneously electric strength field gradient will generate. At the higher and faster moving anion point, it will be less. At the slowest moving anion side, it will be high. That's the reason when this thing is happening, our protein sample become very tight, sharp disc formation takes place, and it will reach the running gel or the separating gel. Once it reach the separating gel, now the separation will based on molecular sieving. That means based on their molecular weight. And once the molecular weight based protein gets separated, then you can go for definitely a staining procedure. I already mentioned what are the stains. This is a very nice picture of where we are staining using Kumasi blue. This is another structure where they are using silver staining. So with this, I'm ending today's lecture. If any confusion, you can definitely call me back.